Here's some interesting things I just learned today. Caesar salad was actually invented in a Tijuana restaurant during a 4th of July rush in 1924. A chef named Caesar Cardini improvised and created it. To be a commercial airline pilot or an air traffic controller, speaking English is a mandatory requirement. Apparently, long-term exposure to bodily waste, like taking care of a baby, significantly reduces the parents' disgust responses, and they just get used to it. I feel like that's actually really fair as someone with 2 under 2. Neuroscientists are actually finding out now how meditation changes how fluid moves through your brain, and it becomes similar to the way that your brain works while you're sleeping. The Lakers and Celtics have won 45% of all NBA championships in the entire league. That's a little extra, but hey, I'm not complaining as a Lakers fan.
This video is going to change how you see the world. This map shows how much forest is covering each state. And honestly, 71% Alabama surprises me. I didn't realize it had that much forest. 89% in Maine compared to what I know of in Washington and Oregon being around 50% also blows my mind. I've never been to the Northeast other than New York. This map shows which country is closest to where you live in the United States. Being in Jacksonville, Florida, I live near the Bahamas. I actually put this map up on my Facebook page a few months ago, and everyone thought that I was suggesting that Mexico should take over that part of America. Canada should take over all of the north part of America. Cuba should only take Floribama, just nothing else, just that little spot, you know? Because why not? This map gives us a better idea of what the true size is of each country on Earth without it stretching like crazy. Like, Canada kind of looks like the same size as the United States here. Russia isn't crazy big. Honestly, it's really Africa that's just like the majority of the world. Here are crazy things happening in the world right now. Who knew that a flamin' hot Cheeto could be worth a fortune because one that was shaped like Charizard sold for $87,000 at auction? An Italian man took an extreme response to a fight with his wife. He walked 450 kilometers before police fined him and sent his wife to pick him up. A German startup is selling a $200,000 freeze your body plan. Nearly 700 people have signed up, but scientists say there's no proof it's ever gonna work. A recent study found that golf courses take up more land than solar and wind energy plants, with the most being in the United States, United Kingdom, and Japan. Thousands of children in England have been falsely accused of witchcraft in the last decade. A golden toilet worth £4.8 million was stolen from Blenheim Palace. Google Maps just sparked outrage through all of Canada after mislabeling Canadian provincial parks as state parks. A Nebraska father was stuck in legal limbo after his daughter's name was mistakenly listed as Unikite 13 Hotel. A stuck snowmobiler called for help but never made it out alive because he was hit by the fire truck that was sent to rescue him. A couple took a flight they'll never forget after they were forced to sit next to a dead body the entire trip. A football game was canceled after a referee was bitten in the testicle by a child. I can't believe that I'm reading that out loud.
In case you didn't know, we have some crazy things happening in the world right now. Illinois became the first state to ban AI therapists. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good idea because, yeah, that's getting out of hand. A family's ash spreading ceremony was derailed by a Spotify ad for stuffed poop toys. It was during a Frank Sinatra song that they were playing while doing this.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
The #1 food for regular people.
A 58-year-old grandmother from Canada currently holds the Guinness World Record for the longest abdominal plank by a woman, holding it for 4 hours and 30 minutes. I could probably do it for about 30 seconds and then I'm done, so bravo. What's your secret? Abby and Brittany, who are two well-known conjoined twins, had to pay 2 separate college tuition fees, but now earn only 1 salary at their job. A Mexican church made millions of dollars after announcing they were selling land in heaven for $100 per square meter. The pastor in charge said that he had permission from God, and they're even accepting Apple Pay. Wow, how convenient. Because all of that makes so much sense. A high school in the UK delayed its start time from 8:50 a.m. to 10 a.m. and this led to over 50% fewer illness-related absences and a 12% rise in exam success over a 4-year period. I feel like I would have done so much better in school if school started at 10 a.m. Maybe all of life should just start at 10 a.m. every day. I think that'd make things easier. Kind of makes sense, especially since teenagers usually need more sleep than adults. Would you want your school to do that? Or would you, I'm curious even like from a parent's point of view, since I'm a parent now, like, would you want your kids to have that? I think it'd be good for my kids.
Let me tell you some crazy history you didn't learn in school. George Iser won 6 Olympic gold medals in 1904 with a wooden leg in one day. This is a record he still holds today, and it wasn't even until 2008 when another person competed with an artificial leg. This was actually a sailor's formal request for a leave of absence, and it says, "My wife is planning on getting pregnant this weekend, and I would sure like to be there when it happens." Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of bunnies. This was during a hunting trip when his men bought too many and released them all at once. President Andrew Jackson taught his parrot to swear, and he had to be removed from Jackson's funeral. This is what a men's beauty contest looked like in Central Europe in the early 1900s. Raffaello Monti was an Italian sculptor who carved veils from marble that literally looked transparent. Stores created layaway during the Great Depression, and it was popular until credit cards became a thing in the 1980s.
Okay, y'all, I have a newborn and a 15-month-old. I've been busy and I've missed a lot of what's going on, so let's look at some of the crazy things happening in the world right now. Men that were lost at sea for 29 days ended up saying it was a nice break from reality. California passed a new law where if you don't touch your crypto for 3 years, California has the legal right to seize it. A man in the UK who was trying to sell his house for $1 million could not get anyone to buy it for that amount, so he sold $1 raffle tickets for anyone to win the house and ended up selling $2 million in tickets, meaning he got double what he was looking for, and the lucky winner got a house for $1. A man came out and said that he swiped right on Tinder 2 million times, averaging about 2,000 swipes a day, and says over 5 years he just went on one date. New York City had 0 murders on July 4th for the first time in history until the next day it was determined that a man was shot and killed 15 minutes before midnight. Here are some good things happening in the world right now. Somewhere in the world right now, there is an animal that was born on the same day as you and is growing along with you. A terminally ill fan of GTA reached out to the public and asked if someone could connect him to Rockstar to give him early access to GTA 6, and they did it. There's a viral trend that people are asking ChatGPT what it would do if it was human for a day, and it always leads to very poetic answers about very simple sensory things like looking at the sky or crying, drinking coffee. There was a Dutch employee at a US tech company that explained to their manager that not answering emails after 5 p.m. or working on weekends was protected by local labor laws, which led that manager to no longer contacting employees across the entire company no matter where they live. Publix, the grocery store we have here in Florida and other places around the country, has not had a layoff in its entire 95-year history. They were actually the first grocery store ever to have air conditioning and electric doors.
Here are some facts that will change how you see the world. The world's oldest maternity hospital is in Dublin, and about 9,000 babies are still born there annually. The 2012 London Olympics asked if Keith Moon could perform, but he had been dead for 34 years. Canadian comedians faked an affair to get on the Jerry Springer show and then got sued. The sun and us are speeding through space at 483,000 miles per hour. Plastic bags were originally meant to be reusable. Whoops. Lucky Diamond Rich is tattooed inside his eyelids, mouth, ears, and foreskin. The Weber grill was originally made from a repurposed buoy by a worker at a metal shop. When forks were first introduced, people carried their own in special boxes to dinner parties. How cute. The National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific sits inside the crater of an extinct volcano. That's pretty cool, actually. The first Who Wants to Be a Millionaire winner used his lifeline just to tell his dad he was about to win.
I don't really need your help, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to win the $1 million.
The James Webb Space Telescope can detect a bumblebee's heat signature from the distance of the moon. Elderly Americans lost over $3 billion in scams just in 2023. Owning a pet rabbit in Queensland, Australia is illegal unless you're a magician. These maps are going to change the way you see the world. This map shows the top export trading partner for each US state. I don't think I realized how dominant Canada is, to be honest. Wait, Brazil is for Florida? Okay. Germany up there? Okay. You know what? Utah's just like the United Kingdom. We love them. The 3 regions on this map make up 50% of the entire world's GDP. This map shows how Melbourne, Australia is closer to Antarctica than it is to Darwin, Australia on the north side. This map shows the United States and Canada at the same latitudes as Europe. I didn't realize that the United States is basically the Mediterranean Sea, but it makes sense. Dang, Norway is up there. Like, nobody's up there in Canada, but people hang out in Norway. That's pretty crazy. And then also, it's crazy to think that the United Kingdom, if it was on our side, would be in Canada area. Huh. Florida is Egypt and where the Nile River is. That's very interesting. Oh my gosh, and then California and Portugal are right there next to each other, basically, which is funny that they have very similar weather and are like that. That should make sense, Adorian, but that's how geography works. Thank you. Thank you, comments. Appreciate it. This map shows the entire railway network of the world. Of course, the top of Canada has nothing. The Amazon rainforest and half of South America has nothing. The Sahara Desert has nothing. Much of Russia has nothing. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. It's actually really cool to look at. Wow.